Hello, so many of you will know I'm Carly Ann, and I work with people who primarily have struggles with an insecure attachment style and primarily anxious attachment. It's the one that I relate to the most, as most of you will know. But I don't think I've ever done a video basically on just introducing attachment theory and why it is at the center of the work that I do with people to help them to experience healthier, happier, more meaningful relationships with themselves and with others. So look, if you are repeating painful patterns in love, if you're attracting unavailable relationships, if you keep pushing love away, sabotaging, crushing, losing your sense of self when it comes to love, dating, an inability to be happy single, or I don't know, your partner goes out and you get overwhelmed with jealousy and anxiety, whatever it might be, you may right now be in it, like actually in a state of anxiety or upset. Or you might just be like, I've had enough. I want to learn more about changing this cycle that I know that I'm in. You might be diving into attachment styles and theories, whatever it is. If you are here, welcome. This is my opportunity to let you know that you are not on your own, to introduce you to my community, and basically just to let you know that I think that attachment theory is an excellent foundation to start to build healthier, happier relationships. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to introduce you to attachment theory now, and then I'm going to give you a bit of an explanation about healing attachment wounds and what it really takes. Attachment theory suggests that a child's emotional and physical bond with their caregiver impacts their development and sense of security in the world. Children develop better trust and security when there is a closer emotional bond with their caregiver. I will be diving more into this in a future video, but briefly what this means is how your caregiver responded to you during times of need and distress, their ability to be predictable and consistent, and whether they could or would bring you back to a state of safety when you had become dysregulated. This bond and this response from your caregiver determines social, emotional, cognitive, and behavioral development. That relationship influences the way that you go on to attach and form relationships in the future. More specifically, how secure you feel within relationships. It is now known, though, that other significant life events influence your sense of safety in relationships also. So if you don't relate to it being from your caregiver, that might be why. These earlier experiences are what influence who you are today in your relationships, how much you trust, how available and open you are to the real thing, and the patterns and cycles that you find yourself in love, dating, and relationships. You can think of attachment theory like a roadmap. Like there is a map that you are following when it comes to forming relationships, when it comes to having relationships and being in a relationship, when it comes to just being on a date or messaging someone. There's a roadmap in the way that you think, feel, behave, the physical sensations that you experience in your body. Attachment theory helps you to understand and predict what happens for you when it comes to breakups and relationships in general. And that is a really great guide. So I'm not about labels and losing yourself in this identity, but like I say, it's a great guide. And for you, to be here watching this, you're already aware that you play a role in this pattern that is playing out. There's already a niggle in you that is saying, hey, I want to break free from this. And this is one of the reasons why I find my experience with attachment theory has been so special, and why I use it as a guide when it comes to those, especially those early stages with my clients, because when it really comes down to it, we're not just looking at the style anymore. We're looking at, okay, well, how do we heal these wounds and change your life? But it's the fact that the roadmap isn't fixed. It's the fact that you can take a new route. You can create a new pathway for yourself, and that's the thing, because it helps you to realize, look, you're not crazy, you're not needy, you're not too much. There is an explanation for these behaviors. There's an explanation for the obsession, the deep heartbreak, you know, when it cuts really, really deep and you get stuck there. There's an explanation for all of the sabotaging and why it feels like love makes you more out of control than perhaps other people. And that's really key, because, well, otherwise we do feel a bit crazy, right? And no one wants to feel that. And we identify with it, and we think it's all about our self-worth, and the list goes on. So for me, you know, when I was at rock bottom and I was able to become aware and remind myself of this theory and be like, you know what? I'm not crazy, and I have the power to change this. So attachment theory gives you different styles. So we all respond to love and relationships in different ways. And there is this idea that we respond through these different styles, if you like. I haven't worded that well, but there's different attachment styles. Secure and insecure styles, okay? So secure is open, it's trusting, it's not perceiving everything to equal rejection or abandonment, or that you're not good enough. And insecure attachment styles is this anticipation of rejection, abandonment, that love hurts, a lack of trust, and you'll either keep people at arm's length, or you'll just be so anxious about something ending. And we have all of these strategies in place to keep ourselves safe. But unfortunately, a lot of those behaviors, a lot of the things that you do when your attachment system is activated, so that anxiety or that temptation to withdraw, you'll do things that are so out of character. So I will dive into also the different styles. And in fact, the freebie that I will mention for you, I'll just put a little thing here. I'll make sure I put something here. There's a freebie. I do give you an overview of the different styles there as well. But on this channel, I will be bringing lots more around the different styles and healing and all things like that. So you can look out for that. You can like and subscribe to let me know to provide those videos. There we go. So this is what I love. I say like I love attachment theory, but I think it's fair to say like it's a huge part of my life. It's been a huge part of the change and the transformation that I've experienced. I credit it a lot. I really do. It's a real personal experience, so I feel like I can do that, you know? And also I see it helping the people that I work really, really closely with, people that I spend 3 months or longer with. I see this being an amazing guide, as long as you don't lose yourself, like I say, in the identity of it and become a victim to it. It's just so powerful. So it can predict the success of your relationships, your ability to hold down a relationship, whether you make it past date 3, how you respond when your partner doesn't text back, how trusting you are in relationships, how quickly you fall in love. I remember around my 30th birthday, my friend said to me, "You fall so hard and fast in love." I was heartbroken at the time, and that was a wake-up call. It predicts if you're attracted to unavailable people, because let's face it, I know that many people watching this keep attracting unavailable people over and over again. It can predict how easily you open up, how you respond to intimacy, who you are or not attracted to. So, you know, we hear it all the time, someone available that likes you comes in and you get the ick and you're not interested. And of course, sometimes you're just not interested, but many times we know as well that that is an avoidance strategy. how we, not a conscious one a lot of the time, how we communicate in relationships, and even how the relationship will end. So I truly believe that as well. And you can look at your past relationships. So I know many of you watching this, you will see a lot of repetitive patterns in past relationships. You'll see a lot of themes and things like that. And that's because attachment theory can predict how we show up in these relationships. And the amazing, so don't judge yourself for any of this. This is really key. I should have said that. No judgment. You didn't choose your attachment style. You didn't choose your emotional bonds or the experiences that you had when you were younger, which is primarily where this is formed. You didn't choose that, but you do have the choice now. You do have the choice now to listen to these patterns, to acknowledge these patterns, which I believe you are because you're here, but most importantly, to dive into what it really, really takes to heal your attachment wounds and to become secure. We all have that secure self inside. I truly believe it. If you identify, if you relate to an if you relate to an insecure attachment style the most, if there is one thing you take away from this, I want you to take away that you can change that. You can connect with and bring out that secure version of yourself. She exists. He exists. Because I know that because I've experienced it, but I also see my clients. I don't know which one for you is going to help you to believe in yourself, but I remember a time when I just thought maybe I was different. And for me, learning about all of these theories and all of this stuff is great, but maybe it just doesn't work for me because I'm not seeing the results. And I know that many of the people that I work with, because of where they are in their journey, in those earlier stages, a lot of the time, it can feel like that as well. But then the more that they stick to it, you start to see it. You start to see the healing happening. I am the most secure version of myself I've ever been. And to think that that's only going to improve is like, where I am now is where I would have dreamt of being. And to think that that's just going to improve. Anyway, I've just digressed probably for way too long. Let me see what else I want to say. Yeah, I did want to say a lot of that. Just that you can choose new responses and love and feeling more secure. You can walk away from the wrong relationships. You can absolutely stand in your power. You can self-soothe. You can manage your emotions when the anxiety or the jealousy takes over. You can learn to become attracted to people who are secure and available, like genuinely. That's a process, but that can happen. And because the thing about attachment theory is, like I said, it really helps you to understand your patterns. So the sooner you can catch yourself falling into old patterns, you can also then choose new responses. It's amazing. And eventually they become the new automatic reactions and responses. So it's incredible. I really believe it. I love it. I absolutely love it when a client comes to me and says, I've met someone where I don't really have to feel the anxiety because they are a secure person. And so naturally that makes me more secure. Yes, you need to learn to self-soothe, but it's also really important to choose someone that you can co-regulate with and have that safety and security with. I love it. I love it when they come to me and say that. I also love it when someone comes to me and says, I just walked away from someone who was just hot and cold, who was giving me crumbs. Like, that is just as powerful because I know it can feel impossible. I love it when people come to me and say, I get it. I get why this relationship didn't work out. And yes, they've met someone else, but it's not about me. Like, that's incredible. So something else to say, if you are discovering attachment theory and you're diving into all of this work, is that it is true that you can read all of the books and you can watch all of the videos, but actually when it comes to putting it all into practice, it's like hard, right? That's a normal part of the process. There are things that you will need to do. There are stages to recognize. There is a deeper, there's roads to go down that attachment theory can't necessarily give you when it comes to really healing. That's what I believe. When it comes to actually healing the attachment wounds, that's probably where I move away from attachment theory a little bit. It will all make sense. I'm going to be providing so much information here. I have a membership where I talk a lot about the healing process and what it really takes to heal your attachment wounds and to stay connected with yourself when it comes to love and feeling insecure in love. But where I would start for you right now, actually, yes, come and join the membership. Great place to start. But if you're not there, then get your hands on my free 3-part course, Attachment Styles, the Next Level. It helps you. I've tried to do it as much as possible as like a one-to-one experience, which is hard, obviously, if you're like pre-recording. But I have tried, you'll see. I give you a little bit of teaching, bit of overview of like the attachment styles and your hurt self, your protective self, these strategies that we have. And then in the second parts of each of there's 3 sessions, I give you exercises to do that help you to look at your own experience so that you can see what your next level is, what you need to do next. It will be talking to you. The question is, are you listening? If you're here, there's already a niggle. Like I say, there's a niggle for you to dive into this. If you are determined to take back your power and feel free from the insecurity, obsession, and anxiety of your attachment wounds, then this is for you. Whether you have been overtaken by a relationship, hijacked by the ick, or keep attracting the same unavailable types, this course is designed to help you go from lost in love to feeling safe, secure, and empowered, starting by understanding this current situation or person. So there you have it. That is my brief introduction to attachment theory, and obviously, oh, look at that sun shining. And obviously why I truly believe it is a great foundation when it comes to accessing that secure version of yourself. Let me know how you get on with the 3-part course, because I'm interested in hearing about your journey, and it is an honor to be a part of it. So yeah, I'd love to hear that. Otherwise, do not forget, you are enough, you are lovable, you are so, so worthy, and you are irreplaceable.